So for this podcast, I would like to go over the course syllabus, because if we were sitting in an on-campus class, that would be one of the first things we did when you walked into the class. So I would probably say, welcome, glad to have everybody in the class. Now let's go over the syllabus. So let's do that. Hopefully you already watched the welcome, and now we're ready for the syllabus. So if you look on your course home, log in, there should be a syllabus link right over here, and you click on that, and you should have the syllabus right here. Okay, there we go. So we're going to go over the syllabus really quickly, and just the major points, and then we'll move on, and I'll have another podcast that tells you how to navigate the course shell. So you see the prerequisites there. You can see the course description, what it does. I'm going to go over the course objectives because I feel like course objectives are very important. That's why you're taking the class. Okay, now you might think you're taking the class because it's required, but really there's a reason you take the class, and there's a reason it is required. And the hope is that the course objectives, you reach the course objectives, and then that we will be able to carry these things with you the rest of your life. Because knowledge is something that you can't be taken away from you by somebody else. They can't force it out of you. They can't take away your knowledge like they can take away your car. So this is stuff that is for you. I'm also a big believer in what I like to call a sexy mind. And what that means is that, you know, people are always trying to build up their bodies and make themselves really tough and cool and look good. But what's really, really cool too is to have a really sexy mind, really know stuff, not just be able to regurgitate stuff, but really know stuff. So part of learning should be about getting to learn things just to learn them. Okay, so with that in mind, here are the course objectives. We're going to develop academic writing skills through 4 mediums: online discussion, weekly assignments, journal, and research papers with accurate, and a research paper with accurate referencing. We're also going to be using other things that will require writing. So there's other things, but we're going to develop academic writing skills. These aren't just random writing skills. These are not email writing skills or texting writing skills. These are academic. So when you're writing stuff in this class, pretty much everything except for the journal, you want it to be professional. You want it to have good punctuation, good spelling, be well put, because you're practicing how you might write if you were trying to get a job. Okay, so that's important. And it has obvious applications, right? If you can learn how to write really well and really professionally, then you have a better shot of getting a job. So we'll move on. That will be helpful, and doing a better job when you do have your own position. We'll also demonstrate the proper use of online research resources, including the UW Online Library, journal indexes, and appropriate web references. So what that means is we're going to show you, you're going to be able to do research online to find good information. This third one goes along with that: critically evaluate sources of information and apply information towards academic research. So all information is not created equal, because anyone with any kind of knowledge or skills at all can create a web page. So just because a web page is out there and has text on it doesn't mean that it's accurate. So part of what you're going to learn is how to evaluate sources of information and critically look at them and decide whether or not they're good sources for you to use in your research to give you accurate information. You're going to produce a thesis-governed writing that demonstrates critical thought, adequate evidence, and appropriate style for respective fields. What that means is that you're going to write a paper. You're going to write a research paper that will be our entire project for the semester, the major project for the entire semester. And it'll go through the entire semester. It won't be hard at all. And you're going to learn how to do that. Governed means that you're going to write a research question, and then you're going to research it. Okay, so then learn writing and research skills that will contribute to success in college and in your professional field. So it kind of goes along with all the rest of them. You're going to learn to write and do research that will contribute to your success in the rest of your college classes and or in your professional field when you get there. Okay, and then understand the meaning and value of academic honesty and how to contribute to the scholarly dialogue in a positive manner. So you're going to learn what it means to be academically honest, and how to give other people credit when it's their turn, when they should be getting credit, and also, you know, how to contribute to that and become one of these people that other people cite in a positive manner. And then finally, acquire knowledge and information about organizational leadership and the career options associated with the Bachelor of Applied Science. Okay, so some of you are not in the Bachelor of Applied Science, although a lot of you are. This class is for the Bachelors of Applied Science, so that's what it's focused on. But all of these skills, if you look at the course objectives above, these are helpful for everybody. No matter what your discipline is, no matter what you're planning to do, it is helpful to be able to write. I once had a skier. I coached the ski team on campus here, who was going to be a banker because he hated to write. So he was all into numbers, and he was all into, you know, business type stuff, and he was going to be a banker because he hated to write. Well, it turns out once he got a job as a banker, all he does is write reports. So he does a lot of the other stuff, but he writes tons of reports. So it's important, even for people who think they won't be using it, to be able to do it. Another example is police officers, right? Police officers have to write reports all the time. So keep that in mind everybody needs to write stuff. So class also satisfies the intellectual community, which means it's a part of the university studies program, and it means it's usually for first-year students. In this case, with a Bachelor of Applied Science, is what we call an inverted degree, which means that you've already done a lot of your specialized courses, and now you're trying to get your university studies. So that's what it is, and it's supposed to be information literacy to teach you about general information and information about a given discipline. So we're teaching you about the area you're in. You're going to learn how to use libraries, resources, evaluate information, apply the knowledge to the research assignments. Basically what we said above, right? Under our, I think that was the information literacy one, sorry. Right above here in the course objectives. And the intellectual community will teach you critical thinking skills, you know, it gets you used to the university environment, introduce you to culture and diversity issues at the university, and that kind of thing. So you get the idea there. Okay, now if you watched my welcome, you heard that I was I had just redesigned my class using game principles, and that doesn't mean this is a game. Although it should be. Education should be game. It should be fun. You should enjoy learning new stuff because it's pretty cool. And especially in this class, because you're going to get to choose what you want to research. So in this class, you know, this should be kind of a fun process. So the major assignment is a research paper, so you're going to write the paper throughout the semester. So there will be in every quest, so every different level of this class is a quest. It's called a quest, and there will be a different quest. And in each quest, there will be required elements. Okay, so there'll be approximately 50 to 100 points in each quest will come from a required element. Okay, but you'll need 140 to get out of a quest, and there will be a lot of options for how to fulfill the last parts of your quest, the last points for your quest. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with game principles. So you have choices. The piece of game principle here is that you get to redo stuff as many times as you want. There's no due dates in this class. Well, there is, right? There's the final one. At the very end, you have to have everything done. But there's no due dates other than that. You're just going to work through stuff and complete the quest as you go. If you don't get out of quest 1, you won't pass the class. You will get an F. So this is things to keep in mind is that you have to work your way through and do stuff. And you won't just if you get a poor grade on something, so if you turn in your research question and you get and it's worth 75 points and you get 50 points, or you get, we'll say 30 points, which is not mastery, and you haven't mastered it, it's not like you're going to get a D and you get to continue with a D. No, you will not get out of that quest. If you do not get out of that quest, you will fail the class. So something to keep in mind, you need to move through these things. So I just said it's based on a mastery model, which means that you will have to finish it. You have to reach a minimum level of understanding of that topic and that quest before you can move on. So that's how that will work. Okay, so each quest requires 140 points to move to the next level, the next quest. That is worth 140 points is a C. So that's something to keep in mind. You can get out of the class, out of the quest with a C, but if you want more, there's more points available in there. There's 300 points available, and there's 200 points. You need 200. You can max out at 200 points. So that means that there's 300 points of options, and then there's 200 points is the most you can get from a quest, which is an A. So you can look at the quest points right here, and you have 180 to 200 is an A, 167, 179 is a B, and 140 to 159 is a C. So depending on how many points you get out of that quest, that's what you get for the grade. Notice that you can't get a D. You either get out with a C or you don't make it. You have to get 140 points to get out. So everybody has to get a C to get out of there. Okay. There are 5 quests, and they will add up to 1,000 points. 1,000 points is the possible points. So then you can see the total course points, and you'll be able to track that as you go. So within each of these quests there's going to be lots of options. So I told you there's 300 points possible within a quest. And so there's all kinds of options. So these are some of the options that will be available. A fireside chat is a discussion where you get in and discuss with other students who are participating in that particular choice to decide about information. You can discuss, you can help each other with things. There will be questions that have to do with the fireside chat, and that will be one of your options. You're graded on the quality of your postings, not the number of your postings, and so you have to reach mastery. So you have to decide. I have to go in and say, yeah, you did enough to get there. If you don't get mastery, you don't get the points. That's all there is to it. There's no gradations here. It's you get it or you don't. The quest activities. During each quest, there will be activities that are helpful to help. There are mini activities that will help you gain the skills necessary to get out of that quest, to accomplish the major choice or the major project in that quest. Okay, so in the research question one, there'll be activities that will help you learn to write a research question and or write or decide on a topic. Okay, this is just like these activities are the things that you learn, like if you're playing a game, the things that you learn along the way that help you eventually beat the boss at the end, or maybe just the monster at the end of it, whatever there is. Okay, all right. And there's another one is a journal, which is one of the best ways to learn to write is to actually write. Okay, so the journal is just an opportunity for you to write, and I'll give you topics to write on, and you can write. You don't have to have punctuation, spelling. This is the one exception to my rule of always write in a professional manner. Write any way you want. You can even write anything you want. This is another way of getting points. And then finally, the research paper is one of the huge things, the big thing we're going to do, and that will be the process. We're going to be graded on the process. So the final draft is not going to be worth any more or very much more than the research question. It's just the process of going through it, so you'll learn how to do this, okay? And then finally, one of the other things that will go through the entire class is called the DA Club. And so it's extremely important that you learn to give and receive feedback. So in a class, maybe you say, well, I don't see the point of that. You give me feedback, you know? But that's true, and maybe you don't mind that. But in the real world, when I write up a report that I want to give to my boss, I don't want to just write it up and hand it to him and have him hack away at it, right? You don't want to say, what is this? What are you doing? Why is this, you know, what kind of behavior is this? What kind of writing is this? What are you saying here? You don't want him to do that. You want somebody else, one of your colleagues, to take a look at that and say, I think this is a little unclear, or this is misspelled, before you hand it in, before it's a big deal, okay? That's what the DA Club is. You find yourself a partner, 2 partners, however many you want, and you exchange papers and you do all the grading before it's handed in, okay? So this is a really helpful way to, it's not only helping you take less time on your project, but it also helps you learn how to give and receive feedback. So that's what the DA Club, and we have some more explanation of that later. And then finally, online supplemental instruction. That is a instruction that is led by a student who's been successful in this class before. There's a whole section on it under introduction and research. There's also, if you look over here, there's a whole side thing on it so that you can find out more information about it. It's really great. Students who participate in this always do better in the class, and people who don't do as well in the class. It's completely optional, and everything in this class is pretty much optional except for a few set things. So it's one of your options. It's a great thing to do, though. It's absolutely fantastic. It's led by a great student. So hopefully that will do it. Academic honesty, we're going to have whole sections on this, but this is really, really important, and I will punish academic dishonesty to the fullest extent. So don't copy papers online. I am an incredible techie person. I can find stuff, okay? And so don't think you're going to get away with this. Don't copy other people's papers. Don't do that kind of stuff. Just do your own work. How does it help you to learn to copy somebody else's paper online? You just need to learn what's going on. The sexy mind, right? If you don't have a sexy mind, what have you got? It's not useful. Okay. Student assistance. I talked about all these. Online supplemental instruction. I will also have, I didn't talk about all these. My mistake. Online supplemental instruction I talked about. It's great. It's helpful. Do it. Instructional podcasts. So I'm going to create podcasts all the time that I will put over in the side over here and also embed within the class. These are great things to listen to. Have a listen to them. They should give you information and be helpful. I will have live office hours whenever anybody wants. I am perfectly willing to do that. And then e-tutoring is an awesome thing that we just added this year, that when you're doing your paper and you're asking having assignments and things, if you turn the stuff into the e-tutoring, they can help you create better papers, better questions, better annotated bibliographies, all of these things. They can help you with this. It's great tool. So here's some safeguards and technical support. You want to read through these. We have all kinds of 24/7 technical support for the eCollege shell and other kinds of help. There's an optional textbook, which is great. This is a wonderful reference. If you want to buy it, it'll be helpful in the rest of your college career. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. And then I have some things about group etiquette. Please read this. This is very important. And basically, this is what we're looking at for the syllabus. So hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me. Questions, if they're things that would be for the good of the class, other people might have this question, please post it under this questions bar right here on the left-hand side. But if they're more personal questions, please feel free to email me and contact me in any way. I also have all my contact information, a Skype name, and other things like that, so you can find me that way. So hopefully this was helpful, and please let me know if you have any questions.